Does he go outside and compete at outside corner? Does he compete some at safety? I've told him to, that he needs to be learning both of those spots, and we'll figure out where that second position, that where he can go and compete, and hopefully we can find some more playing time for him.
Do you have a sense of whether he'd be a better outside corner or safety?
Yeah, he's played more outside corner, so obviously that would be the comfort level. But some of the things that I see him do and the way that he fits in the run game tells me that he could be a fit, at safety also. So, and look, we've had guys that have had the flexibility to play a lot of different positions. I think that's important in today's football, where you're not just locked into one thing. Being able to be multiple and do a lot of different things. And so that's something that I think he can do. And as we get to know him better, spend more time with him, start to get out on the field with him a little bit more, we'll have a better feel for, where that second position might be and where we want to try to work him.
Pressure up the middle was a big problem for the Bears last season. Do you feel like with the additions that you've made in the offseason that's going to be a strength for this team this year?
Well, I think it's a start. I think it's a step in the right direction. I think, look, we're never in the position that we're just satisfied with where we're at. We're going to continue to look for areas that we think we can improve this defense, and so. But I do think we made some improvement in that area. Obviously, with the addition of Grady, as an interior defensive tackle. Dio, I think one of the things that he does exceptionally well is I think he moves inside in passing downs and rushes really well from the interior. So I do think we have some options in there, and certainly that to me that's like one of the main points of pass rush. Everybody talks about these speed rushers off the edge, but really it's about the interior pocket pressure that you have to have, and that allows guys like Montez Sweat to be able to have some success coming off the edge.
When you're installing your scheme and when you're getting to know these guys and matching the personnel, when it comes to personality or stylistically, how do you want these players to play within your defense?
Tough, nasty, hyper competitive, play with a swagger, play with a chip on their shoulder. I think that's kind of been, the hallmark of the best defenses that I've been around. I think that's been a hallmark of a lot of great defenses that have been here in Chicago. And so I think that's what we're looking for.
As you had plenty of exposure to Grady in the division, how do you describe what makes him so disruptive and what excites you about joining forces?
Yeah, I think, quickness, athleticism, those are things that he has. He can play with leverage. He's not a real big guy, but he does a great job of playing with leverage. So rarely do you see him get knocked off the line of scrimmage. There's some things I think we can help him with from a fundamental technique standpoint to get him to even play stouter, on the line of scrimmage. He is just put the tape on. This guy plays extremely hard, and on every single play. So rarely do you see him not running with great effort to the football. And I think he plays the game with a relentless attitude. I think he's going to be great for our room.
Dennis, with your head coaching experience and involvement in past drafts, like how you felt like that communication, your input on some of these prospects has gone so far?
Yeah, look, I think it's been outstanding. I mean, I think, Ryan and his group have done a really good job of, going through the draft process, going through the draft board, and given our position coaches, myself, given all of us list of guys that we feel like fit what we want to do defensively, and then we've had an opportunity to go in and kind of present our our thoughts and ideas to him and his group of guys and personnel. I think the communication's been outstanding.
Dennis, how do you envision Grady pushing or I guess influencing Gervon at a pretty pivotal point?
I think Grady's the ultimate professional, and I think with any young player, having somebody that you can watch, not necessarily how they play, but how they conduct themselves on a daily basis, and what it takes to be a pro in our league. I think that's important for, a lot of young guys. Dexter, one of them, but there's others that I think he can have a heavy influence, more in terms of like how to be a pro, as much as how to play the game.
Dennis, talking about the other cornerbacks in your cornerback room, Jalen Johnson, Tyreek Stevenson, and Terrell Smith. What are your first impressions of those guys and how they might fit into your scheme
Yeah,
specifically?
look, I think they're all three talented. I think Jalen obviously has proven that he can play at an exceptional level in this league. I'm excited about having the opportunity to work with him. He's a guy that, when he was coming out of college that we had high grades on. And so I'm excited about working with him. Tyreek and Terrell Smith, both of those guys are bigger, longer, athletic corners. I think both of them have the skill set to play in this defense. I think there's some things that we've got to work on to get more consistency in terms of their play. But both of those are guys that I think fit what we want to be able to do. And now it's really just about us bringing out the best in both of those guys. All right, thanks, guys.
Hello, good to see everyone.
See you too.
Go ahead, what do y'all have? What do you got?
Feel to be you're like the veteran of the coordinators around here now. They asking you questions?
I wouldn't say I'm a veteran of coordinators around here. Dennis Allen is a two-time head coach.
Been here longer.
Been here longer?
Yeah, you're a veteran of the Bears.
Yeah, I guess you could say so. I think the process with Ben, obviously Dennis and Declan has been outstanding. All of us working together, going through different things off season, and as well as what we would do in the season has been outstanding. So phenomenal group to work with. Honored and excited to be back. I think you guys really gonna like Coach Johnson. He's awesome. He's detailed. He's on top of it. He's a good one. I've been around a lot of good head coaches, as you guys know. I've been lucky to be around a lot of them that are still coaching. So he's got it. He's got it.
Declan said that he sensed the players were hungry for his message, his coaching, and what he's given them so far. Are you sensing that same thing, and what shows you that, I guess?
Yeah, I'm sensing the same thing. As you know, the players have kind of spoken about it already, but just his command in the room, his attention to detail, his passion for the game, his knowledge of all three phases of the game, and how he wants to put it together. You can see why he was very successful in Detroit, and we're all excited to be on his staff. I think you can ask any coach that. This guy was the leading candidate to be a head coach for 2 or 3 years now. He could have had anybody wanted on the staff. So we all know that we're fortunate to be here, and we're ready to go to work for him.
Richard, you're obviously a part of the kickoff discussion down at the league meetings. What's your reaction to the tweak that's been made going forward to that part of the game?
Yeah, really nice things were done to the kickoff this year. Obviously honored as well to be invited to the league meetings and be a part of those discussions. There are a couple of different things that went into what happened down there when we were there. Obviously, the kickoff rule went in and it's permanent now. So what you saw last year is permanent with a couple of modifications. One being the touchback going to the 35-yard line, which is going to increase returns. It was at 32.4 last year. So according to the league, what they think in their projections, it'll be double that or more. So you got a really good chance for returns now, and not just a ceremonial play. So nobody wants that in the game at all. Another thing to note, we made adjustment to the receiving team. So one of the off the ball players can back up now. So instead of being 2 guys, you can have 3 guys off the ball in the setup zone, which will allow for a little bit more creativity with the returns. And then the 2 other things that were discussed, obviously it's going to be tabled till May, is the onside kick. That'll be tabled till May. We just want to extract that from the initial proposal and try to get eyes on that and try to get that up just a hair. And then the last thing was provisions to the K-ball. So basically what that is at the end of the day is they're going to do them ahead of time just like they do the quarterback balls. So it'll be a lot easier for the officials, a lot easier for the club, a lot easier overall. But honored and excited to be a part of those discussions. We can hope to see a lot more returns, which obviously we've always taken into account. You guys being here around Chicago and being from Chicago, playing in an outdoor stadium, this should be a very positive thing for our football team.
Coach, obviously, roster turnover is commonplace in the league, and even more so with special teams. When you think about guys like Jack Sanborn, Jalen Jones, core guys that you had, how early can you start to identify traits that you're looking for guys who could fill some of those pivotal positions for you?
Yeah, that's a good question, Herb. I think that our scouting staff does an unbelievable job in the off season and really during our season too. They're looking at that all year, and then kind of how that process works. They'll get us a list and we'll go through it. But we all have sat down together and looked for, the identifiable traits that we were looking for. And that's the fun part of our job, especially as special team coaches. You get to work with the whole roster and you get to develop guys, like a Blackwell, like the guys you're talking about, that guys that know nothing about, and develop them and see them grow until they become, better offensive and defensive players. So that's the exciting part about it. I'm looking forward to the new guys that we have to come in and fill some of those roles.
Richard, when you look at those guys, how much of it is just the skill set you see on film? How much of it is desire, want to, attitude, effort, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I think in all three phases, it's always attitude, effort, and desire. I think a lot of the times when you talk about special teams, a lot of people don't study special teams as much as you would study or see in many offense or defensive plays. So I think the immediate fallback to special teams is it's just you got to run hard and hit. You got to have desire. You got to have want to. Well, there's a lot of schematic involved in some players can retain it and some players can't retain it. Is why some stick on special teams long enough to get a chance for offense and defense, and some don't. So a lot of it is skill set and being able to transfer what they learned in the meeting room to the field. And then I don't care what position you play, special teams, offense, defense, specialists, kicker, punter. If you don't have the right mentality at this level, it's in the want to and the desire, it's too competitive. You get ran out of the building.
Devin Duvernay, upgrade this return room.
Devin specifically, you said? Well, I think Ryan and those guys have done an unbelievable job getting a lot of guys in. But if you're speaking about Devin is obviously got all the accolades that you guys can say. I will say we're gonna call him Duvernay until he makes some plays, and then we'll refer to him as Devin. All right, because we got a Devin around here that's the Devin. But anyway, just that's a challenge for Dude. But we had great conversations, and he's looking forward to competing. Nothing's gonna be given. Obviously, we got an open roster spot there. Nothing's gonna be given. He's looking forward to competing. But good question.
How excited are you about, just can I ask you, how excited are you about it? You got Oz, you got a couple other guys too that are gonna be coming in to bolster that. Should be pretty competitive during the training camp.
Yeah, I'm fired up about it. I mean, the personnel department, Ian, Trey, all of those guys, Brett. I mean, I can go down the list of them. Ryan, like those guys spent countless hours looking for and listening to what will put together a really good football team. And they've gotten guys in here, so now it's our job to get that mesh together and take it to the next level. And we're excited about it. All right, thanks.